big game in the Big Apple on San Antonio Sports Leader 1250 ESPN San Antonio. Powered by the Low T Center, Buffalo Wild Wings, and AA Best Bail Bonds.
Great voice on radio, talking about the NFL, joining us on Radio Row here, right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio at ESPNSA.com. All right, Romo, I want to talk to you about a lot of things, but we've been talking the last two segments about the Cowboys. Last year, they hired Bill Callahan to be the offensive play caller, and they brought in Monty Kiffin to completely change around from a 3-4 to a 4-3. Now they've decided, probably based in part by their head coach Jason Garrett, to bring in Scott Linehan to be the offensive play caller and Rod Marinelli to be the defensive play caller. A move that illustrates, in my opinion, their dysfunction as an organization, but probably a move that should have been made relative to the output that their season had.
Absolutely. You know, it's one of those situations where, hey, if it's broke, let's try to fix it immediately and fix it again and again and again and realize that it takes talented football players to execute. And you got to have them in the right place. And the whole organization has to, you know, to me, you know, when are we going to have Jerry Jones come out and say, I have failed you?
Never.
Okay? I have failed the fans. I have failed the Dallas Cowboys. And it's time for us to do it the right way. And I'm going to be an owner, and I'm going to sit back, and I'm going to hire a general manager. I'm going to hire a head coach, and I'm going to let them do their thing.
He's busy proving people wrong, Bill.
Well, yeah.
Isn't that the ultimate irony? He's trying to prove people wrong that
he's trying.
Well, he's got,
and he hasn't done very well.
He's done the opposite.
The new coordinators have a tremendous track record. Linehan's done a great job with Detroit. Marinelli did a great job with Chicago. But how much does coaching matter versus the talent of the players?
Oh, it matters, but you have to have the right talent and the right players and the right chemistry. You know, but if everyone kind of knows that the coach does not really carry the sledgehammer, then, you know, there's this little by little they feel like maybe they can walk upstairs and talk to Jerry Jones. Oh, such and such not very good. Or, oh, we should have done this or that. You know, I mean, to me, you know, like Bill Callahan, he's a good man and a great football coach. He was my head coach in Oakland when I was there. That guy is really, really good at what he does. Let him coach and let him do his thing. Let the other guys coach. Sometimes, you know, you make a big change like going from a 3-4 to a 4-3 and a cover to Tampa 2 defense. Guess what? You got to have the right guys to do that, you know, and you got to not turn the ball over on offense. And you got to play great special teams. You know, you got to not make mistakes, cause penalties, not turn the ball over. All these things play into this, and coaches coach, players play. You got to have the right guys.
The Cowboys were 3-4 for a decade. So in the offseason, they decided, let's bring in Monty Kiffin, who hasn't coached the NFL in a while, switch to a 4-3, Tampa 2, as you brought up. How long does that take? I mean, aside from, forget about the personnel shift, I mean, the mentality, the understanding the zones, what to do. I mean,
it takes a little while, and it takes the right people. I thought in the beginning we were seeing guys fly around in a different tempo of this defense. And guess what? As they start getting in tune with what you're doing, and all of a sudden, you know, your middle linebacker gets hurt, you know, different things happen. And these are all excuses, but valid on some level. But you got to come back to they didn't get it done. And I don't think keep hiring and changing over and over again is the answer.
Now, when you've been out of the league for, what, about a decade now?
Yes.
And you were fined for some hits in your day, but that was before they really, really started cracking down on it. If you played today, would you be getting fined, do you think, every week? Would you have to dramatically change the way you play?
I was getting fined every week. You know, just now my fines would be a lot bigger. So, you know, they're trying to make the game safer, and that's a good thing. That's a good thing for football. making the game safer. And, but you can't take the violence out of it. You can't take what we love. We're looking at modern-day gladiators out there doing what they do, and we want to cheer them on. The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat, and all that goes into it. And it's still the greatest game on earth. And I don't think, a lot of people say, they're making it a wussy game. Bull crap.
They haven't been out there, the people that say that.
Exactly. Go out there for one play. I'll show you how wussy it is.
Just stand on the sideline for one play.
I feel bad for most of the rule changes, I think, are smart. But I feel bad for a defensive guy who's running full speed. A guy catches a ball, lowers his head at the last second. A defensive guy comes in, hits his head, and he gets flagged and gets fined. How can you adjust as a defensive guy in a split second when a guy catches a ball and drops his head?
Really hard to do. And there are going to be some things that happen out there that create a penalty that's going to be hard to, protect yourself or in some way. Or it's going to be hard to where, a situation where there's no way around. You're going to get hurt on this play. Hey, injuries aren't going away in the game of football. Cart them off, put a new guy in, and get ready to play.
Bill Romanowski joining us right here on 1250 ESPN San Antonio. The rule changes have changed the way the game is played. Roger Goodell recently released a memo that spoke to how much they've done, the NFL has done, to advance its efforts to lower the concussion rate and to take the right protocol. But he goes on to say, well, the science is still unknown. So in an effort to increase the science or the awareness, the NFL has donated $60 million for that research.
That's nothing.
Seems like a lot, doesn't it? But
nothing.
Yeah, considering ESPN and the NFL agreed to a $2 billion annual deal for TV rights, and that's just ESPN alone. So it seems a bit conflicting, no? They've changed the game, but here's $60 million, which is peanuts considering to what the bottom line for the NFL really is.
Yeah, absolutely. It just, you answered your question, right?
I just wondered your thoughts on it.
You answered your question, and to me, are they committed to really finding out how bad the game is for you? No. But saying that they're, investigating, they're putting money into it, and they are committed, that's all great PR.
Window dressing.
PR, window dressing, and how can we just cover this up? We're going to play the tobacco industry game for as long as humanly possible till we have to write a real check. And they haven't had to write a real check yet.
Four-time Super Bowl winner Bill Romanowski joining us here on the Hard Line. You admitted that you took steroids and HGH, right? What do you think about that in the NFL right now? Because they don't test for HGH. Do you think it's widely used in the NFL? And do you think they should aggressively test for it?
You know what? They should test for anything that gives athletes an edge.
Do you think HGH does?
No. It's not an anabolic substance. It helps heal. So you could say yes on one front, but then no on another. Do guys want to have their joints intact and feel good the rest of their life? And is that why they're doing it? Are they doing it to heal an injury so they can get back on the field faster so the NFL can make more money? Yeah. I can make that point till I'm blue in the face. But at the end of the day, I think drug testing is good. And I did some things I'm not proud of. And
were you conflicted at the time?
Hey,
when you were on steroids?
When you say that, I took THG at the end of my career, which still to this day they don't know if it's an anabolic.
That's the so-called clear, right? That Barry Bonds allegedly used.
They don't know. There's not one human study that says it is a steroid, an anabolic steroid. So, it gets real technical here and there, but I shouldn't have done it. I did it. I let everyone know, and I think the league does a really good job at policing what they do and what players take.
All right, before we let you go, Houston Texans have the first pick. Who would you take, Johnny Manziel, Teddy Bridgewater?
Manziel over Bridgewater all day long.
Would you take Clowney then? I mean, it seemed like you weren't sold on either.
To me, Manziel is a winner. He makes people better. He makes people believe they can win. And that's what he does, and that's who he is.
Great stuff. Bill Romanowski. And you have your I want to be remiss if we don't mention your
Nutrition 53.
Yes, Nutrition 53.
And our partnership with Smoothie King. We have the Lean One Smoothie, which is the number one smoothie sold in Smoothie King. And we're changing people's lives. And drink a smoothie, lose a pound. It's a fat-burning meal replacement, and that's what we're all about. And Smoothie King is changing people's lives. Nutrition 53 is. People can go to nutrition53.com, get free samples of our products. And for Super Bowl week, it's 50% off everything.
You're a pro.
Awesome.
Bill Romanowski, 4-time Super Bowl.